That's also what you said earlier, this argument that always makes me a little bit itch, because it always comes around whatever you talk about. If you talk about objects, and there's a certain moment where you realize you can't talk about it, or there's like this sort of limit of language, or maybe we kind of lose courage to say, oh my God, this is really too big, or it concerns everything, or there's this moment where it almost always falls apart, no matter what you talk about.
Maybe we should call it everything.
Yeah.
Something.
But so in that sense, that's why I like this idea of the dictionary, like this sort of ambition to say, yes, we know we can't be complete. We can't solve the problem here with all the energies together. Even we will still have people that could say this is not dealt with, and here you really made a mistake. But it doesn't matter, because the worst thing is to kind of give in to this doubt, to say, oh, but then we can just leave it, because that's really the end of everything. I mean, then you don't need. So in a way, I like to be reminded of that fact, that it's really difficult to talk about something like that as the object without ever finding a consensus. But I'm more on the other side. I'm really like, great that there's no solution, but there's a collection of definitions. There's a possibility of some container that holds everything equally, without having to make up my mind, which I believe that if the nanotechnologist is closer to what the object really is as a musician, or I don't really want to make up my mind even. I really enjoy the fact that it's so pluralistic, but that everyone is allowed to use the word. I find there's a really beautiful sort of democratic thing that we are all allowed to say the object, and no one comes and says, no, you don't have permission, because in your field, it's disqualified because of this and this and this reason. I like this, that there's this thing in language and that term and that label that you can use without getting punished, or because all together it's like a dictionary or a thesaurus page where all these things coexist, although they contradict them.